Hi, everyone, and welcome to Deadline Dilemmas, the show where you see me struggle and have a dilemma every week. And Praz just cruises through game week by game week. How you doing, Praz?
I'm all right. I mean, it's been all right. My start has been all right. So, yes, I am rolling. So, I'm telling people now that I'll be rolling a free transfer, which will be three. I'm excited to roll three
Wow.
free transfers for the first time. But how was your week? Start with your week because you were
Okay,
panicking after game week 1.
I was really panicking. I scored 50 points. It was pretty grim, but the second game week, Praz came in okay for me. I scored 80 points.
That's good.
Not bad at all, yeah.
Yeah.
No triple
Without
captain
triple
used.
captain, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. That's good.
it's not
I
bad
see a
at
lot
all.
of triple caps with like 90 points or 95 points, and I'm like, that's actually an average week. It's not that good. If you don't play a
Yeah,
triple cap and above 80 points, I think that's a very good week.
I totally agree with you. And at the start of the game week, I was a bit concerned, but then
Mm.
Smith Rowe and Anthony Gordon came in clutch. So that was
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah.
How was
Same,
your game
same for
week?
me. I mean, I was trying to be humble. Obviously, mine was 95 points. I'm gonna enjoy it because it doesn't happen every week where you get like a 400,000 game week rank early on. And you know what? Why it's so important early on to be lucky is because then people rush to get your players. Like if this
That's
happens in
ex-
game week 28, people go, "Oh, you got lucky. You got a Bowen hat trick. Everybody else went for Huang." But not
yeah,
everyone is then buying Bowen.
yeah.
But now here, everyone's like, "Oh shit, I went for Nkunku. His price is dropping. The players I have, their prices are rising." So I feel good. I'm happy, but I'm humble. I've been lucky. It's not like I'm some, having picked some genius picks. It's just a lot of 50-50s have gone my way. Like, a lot of thoughts of I was debating myself, should I go Eze plus Muniz or should I go Gordon plus João Pedro? Now this week, Eze Muniz blanked, João Pedro and Gordon both got 18 points. So it's just one of those things. ESR, I was looking at Murphy, I was looking at Oscar Bob, but when I changed my wildcard window from 4 to 6, I was like, I want ESR because he has better fixtures longer term. I was not counting on ESR scoring more points in game week 2. So there's so much luck that we
It,
forget.
I know. You're telling me, Praz, because similar scenario to you, in game week 1, I went with Solanke because of that move instead of Pedro. Two reasons. I thought Pedro, first of all, the minutes might be risky. We only played one preseason game. The second part was because I went Solanke, I had to go Kwanzaa. So that
Yeah.
started the cycle of, oh my goodness, just I'm still fighting fires, which you'll see in my team. I've made a move. It's a bit of a, I don't know if it's a controversial move, but doing it this game week might shock you. So you're going to be
Oh,
surprised to
so
see
did
my
you have
team.
Nkunku? Remind me.
So I had Nkunku, Solanke. Yeah, they're the two fires I've got
And
in my team.
Kwanzaa.
And Kwanzaa. So Kwanzaa went game
Man,
week 2.
you really picked all of them.
That's what I
All
mean.
the shitos. Did you have Barco?
No, think I've
Okay.
had Barcode. I just deleted the team and waited for next season. It seriously, it's too many of them. But game week 2 has softened the blow. Game week 3, we're going to go into a more detail when we look through our teams. I'm concerned, and you'll see why. I've made a move. Unlike you, when the 5 transfers came about, I thought it was impossible. Now I'm looking at you. You might be the first person to reach there.
Nah. I'll definitely be making a transfer during the international break. So I'm not planning to achieve any kind of a medal of honor and reach 5 free transfers. I'm going to keep playing every single week. Uh, and I can tell you now, like next week, international break, I'm definitely making one, at least one. Like Lewis Hall to a Brighton defender, just a no brainer because Brighton's
Yeah.
next 2 fixtures are very, very good. So, but we'll come to our teams. Let's start with some of the stuff that happens. The part of the thing about deadline dilemmas is we pod late, right? So we take into account everything that's happened in Europe, everything that's happened in the Carabao Cup. So this will be a theme when Europe actually kicks in. So let's start with Europe. Like the Champions League draw came in, controversial. Like I see a lot of people on the timeline going, rubbish format. I hate the format. I don't like this. So many. I can't understand what's going on. What do you think? What do you make of it?
Me personally, Praz, I'm going to be honest with you. I've not even fully sat down to unpick it and fully understand it. I saw the draw today. I'm going to sit down post show and get stuck into it. So it did
Yeah.
confuse me.
You don't need to
So
do it
you
post
can,
show. I'll do it
yeah,
now.
even better. Let's go.
So there's 36 teams,
Mhm.
right? 36 teams are divided into 4, basically seed 1, seed 2, seed 3, seed 4. Now this seeding isn't very important because as I will tell you, as Aston Villa, you will have similar opponents as Man City. So Aston Villa are like seed 3 or 4, Man
Yeah.
City are seed 1. They have similar opponents. So what happens is every single team will play 2 teams from each pool or seeding. So Man City, as you can see in this graphic, have two teams in the first pot. So they're home to, what is their fixture? I can't read it.
I know I've made it too small in this graphic.
uh,
Apologies.
No, hold on. I will open it in front. So I have it. Okay. So Man City from pot 1 will play Inter at home, and then one away game as a team from pot 1, which is PSG. In the
Yeah.
earlier years, Man City would play not a single team from seed 1, if you remember,
Yeah.
because there would
Yeah.
be 4 seeds, and seed 1, seed 2, seed 3, seed 4, that used to be the group.
Yeah.
This year, we get 2 good games of a Man City, of an Arsenal playing seed 1 teams. So for me, that's a good thing. You'll see better
That's a
matches
positive.
in
Yeah.
the group stages. Second thing, so just like this, so Man City play Inter and PSG from pot 1. From pot 2, again, they play 2 more teams, again, one home, one away. So they'll play Club Brugge and then away to Juventus, another nice game. Then they'll again play 2 teams from pot 3. They'll play Feyenoord and Sporting Lisbon or Sporting CP. And then they'll play again 2 teams from pot 4, which is home to Sparta Praha and Bratislava. So every single team will have 8 matches where they will play 8 different teams, and 4 will be home, 4 will be away, and 2 of them will be from each of the pots, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, all of these 8 times, what are they? 36 teams. So 9 in each pot, 36 teams will play, and it will almost become a league of these 36. At the end of the league season, everybody would have played 8 games.
Yeah.
The top, I can't remember, is it 18 or 12 teams? They basically go straight to the quarterfinal. And the bottom, the middle part, will then play a pre-quarterfinal or a playoff.
Like a playoff, yeah.
Yeah. So why do they do that? The incentive is that you want to finish as high up as possible. So let's say if the fixtures turn out and Man City have beaten Inter, PSG, Club Brugge, Juventus, they still have 2 easy games. They still want to finish in that top 8. They still want to be, they want to avoid playing a pre-quarter final or a playoff. So therefore, there's an incentive.
Do you get if you come in that top bracket, do you get the home leg as the second fixture?
I don't think so. I'm not very sure about that, but it's more about avoiding the playoff. You basically go straight to a quarterfinal. So this does 2 things. One, it makes for better matches. Now we're seeing Arsenal play PSG. We're seeing Aston Villa play Bayern Munich. Liverpool play Real Madrid. Man City play Inter, PSG, Juventus. We're seeing better matches in the group stages, and we're removing dead rubbers, because we're removing this idea of Man City having won the first 4 games, and the next 4 games they play their
B team, basically.
They could still do that. They're Man City, but the incentive to win is pretty much up until the game week or match day 7 or match day 8. So for
that sounds positive. From that, the way you're selling it there, that making it even maybe less dead rubbers. Because me personally, I agree with you. When I watch Champions League, it tends to start in the last 16. The group stages are pointless because we know the big teams are protected. There's not much in it for them, and it's almost too easy. It's very rare you get a shock unless you get a group of death, which is quite rare. So that's a positive from that perspective. But is it a negative with more games now?
100%. That's the biggest negative.
Yeah.
That everybody, instead of having 6 group stages, you'll have 8. So there's 2 more games.
2 more games, yeah.
And this is what has also irritated people. When they saw the Carabao Cup draw, you remember this image where it was like, no Champions League team can play another Champions League team or a team in the Europa League. They're not doing it to make it a super league or make it so that it's entertaining. They're doing it because you have more fixtures for these European teams to fit in. So they didn't want a clash because they happen in separate midweeks, and they will play Carabao Cups in separate midweeks. So if you were to play each other, the European fixtures would get screwed up. So again, it's not ideal when you sell it like, oh my God, Man City can't play Arsenal in the Carabao Cup 3rd round. You are basically gaming the system. Yes, it's not a good look, but it's basically done because there's more fixtures in the Champions League. So just to finish, at the end of this group stage, everybody would have played 8. The top 8 go straight to the quarterfinal. From 9th to 24th, so basically the next 16, they play each other in the pre-quarterfinals.
Okay.
So you have an incentive to finish top 8, and the bottom 8 basically get eliminated.
Okay.
From 25th to 36, actually bottom 12 get eliminated. That's the idea. It's a league. It's a proper league.
It is a proper league, yeah, which possibly is why a lot of the teams are ramping up extra players in this transfer window to get the squad ready, because it sounds like, though, it might not sound a lot, 2 extra games, but it is a lot, especially if you're one of the big teams who look to get to quarterfinals, semi-finals in all the tournaments.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can take its toll. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure Aston Villa are happy about this, Praz. First making a debut in the Champions League, and they've got the 2 extra games.
I
So
mean, you say that, but Aston Villa should be happy because they're in pot four actually.
yeah,
If I understand correctly. I think they were in pot four.
they are in pot four. Yeah,
So on average, they would have faced a much tougher tie because they would have been in a group with a pot one, a pot two, a pot three. Now their ties are same as Arsenal or
yeah.
Man City. It is no difference.
So that
So
yeah. See, but you lose that protection. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm
so I
intrigued.
feel
That go on,
I feel
Praz.
it's not bad. It's not bad. Like if you look at Aston Villa's, and by the way, this people tuning into Deadline Dilemmas, this wasn't about Champions League X Primer. It just turned out to be. The idea of showing this slide was just to show that there's some very tough games coming up for these 4 Champions League teams, and it'll be similar style for the Europa League teams as well. Now, Europa League people will just rotate anyway.
Yeah,
Because they may not care about finishing 10th or 12th or 15th or 16th. But in the Champions League, they will care. They will be a big, I think the good thing for Aston Villa is their tougher games are at home. So Aston Villa are home to Bayern, home to Juventus, and away games are more manageable. Like away to Leipzig is not going to be easy. Away to Club Brugge is not going to be easy, but it's better than away to Juve and away to Bayern,
yeah.
right?
Oh, actually, I should clarify. Well, actually, I should ask the question. So you don't play home and away, one team home and away. It's
You play
okay.
eight
That's
different
yeah.
teams, which is also
So
fun.
it's fun, but you could argue you lose the advantage because if you get the hard game away and get the easier game, kind of yeah.
So that's the luck of the draw. Like you will always get one home game against a seed one team and a one away game against a seed one team.
All
One
right,
home game against seed two, one away game against seed two. They've tried to balance it, man. I mean, I'm
they
like,
have yeah.
all I'm saying is let's not hate on the idea. I think the idea is fantastic. Idea is very good.
I'm gonna stay neutral and judge it and see how it pans out this season. It sounds good. I think you've done a good job selling it, Praz.
I
but
mean, I don't work for UEFA. I'm just
no, I
telling you
know,
as
yeah,
a fan whose team isn't in the Champions League. I see this. I see all the ties. Look at PSG. Have you seen PSG's draw?
yeah.
They have Man
PSG
City.
got a
They have
PSG got a very
Arsenal.
difficult draw, but
They
so
are
did
screwed.
Liverpool.
Yeah. Oh, Liverpool's is better, right?
You think so? Yeah, it's quite Real
Home
Madrid,
to Real Madrid.
Leverkusen.
The Real Madrid try is at home, which is nice.
Yeah,
Leverkusen is at home. You can beat Leverkusen at home. Away to Leipzig, similar to Aston Villa. Away to Milan, you can beat Milan.
yeah.
Uh, then Lille at home, Bologna at home. Those are manageable. There's not a lot of travel. One of the things, again, randomizing this can increase travel, right? Some people may have to go to Bratislava, like Man City have to, away. And for you guys, I think, you're only going to Italy or Amsterdam
It's not too
or
bad at
Germany.
all. That yeah, for distances, that's trivial, easy.
Yeah, yeah.
So just to finish up on this, Praz, when does this kick off? So is it a game week after game week 4? Basically, that midweek is Champions League starting.
Correct. After the
Yeah.
international break, you get the fixtures, and then Champions League is back on. Actually, let me open. I haven't given it to you, but let me open my favorite chart, which is Mr. Lego Mane. So indeed, you get Europe for the 4 Champions League teams after game week 4, and then there is Europe for the Europa League teams after game week 5. So it's not symmetrical. That's what I meant, because there is
Okay.
Carabao Cup rounds are over 2 legs. Whoever is not in Europe will
We'll
play in the
play the
first week,
fixture.
and then whoever's not in Europe the other week will play the other week. So this is why they couldn't have European teams play European teams.
Okay. All right. That makes sense to me. And that's going to take a little time to get used to. And to be honest, this for me is when FPL is going to get more trickier and maybe more fun because now the rotation, we know managers, we know how important the Champions League is, Press. Full stops, the arguably #1 tournament for all clubs because of money, everything about it, the prestige. Teams like managers like Unai Emery. So a lot of us have gone for Rodgers, for example. For all we know, the rotation could start. He could vanish from Premier teams, could play in European teams. We don't. There's a lot of uncertainty when this kicks off.
Absolutely.
With Liverpool, if I bring it back to Liverpool, a lot of us look at Liverpool's got 6 attackers now. It was already tricky. They've added Chiesa. So yeah, this is when the fun begins.
I agree. This is why I don't love early wildcards. Like, we don't know anything so far. Like, I know some teams are in desperate positions and they had to do it, and the value of the wildcard is slightly reduced this year because of free transfers, but we don't know anything. Like, we think, oh, Jota is a great pick. Jota could miss 3 Premier League games out of 4 because he's playing the Champions League and Darwin is playing the Premier League. Like, Of course, there's some nail players. Like I think Watkins plays 90% of the Premier League games. Salah plays probably 95%.
Yeah.
Haaland plays
Saka.
95%.
There's a couple of those players. You're right. Bruno, or actually Bruno's not even in Champions League, but you know what I mean. There's certain marquee players. Sorry, Perez. I didn't. That wasn't a blow to you.
It
That
was
was
very
just
much
a
intentional.
genuine mistake.
We move.
Well, that brings us on to let's go to my team actually, because last week, as I said, 80 points. I was very close to wildcarding, even with all of the stuff we just discussed. But I reckon if I had a difficult week this week, Prez, it would have been the pressure would have been not from anyone else, just pressure on me. I'm seeing everyone else doing well, and my team was crumbling. So last week has softened the blow. You're going to see that my team.
Read it out.
I've made the okay. So we start with Henderson in goal. Unfortunately, this goalkeeper has gone. This decision's gone completely wrong for us. Chelsea is it Chelsea away? I don't expect a clean sheet here, Prez. And then Trent, Robertson, Konsa, which is
Robinson. I always confuse it as well instead of Robertson.
Anyway. Did I say Robertson or Robertson?
I think you said Robertson.
God, it's Liverpool, isn't it?
It's synonymous, right? Trent and Robbo.
Exactly what it is. Yeah, the pairing. I wish I had that combination, but anyway, that's another story. And the midfield, Jota, Bruno Fernandes, Anthony Gordon, and Smith Rowe. So it's a 3-4-3. That's the 4-man midfield. Up front, currently got the new player I bought in. I know it looks crazy. He's playing against Arsenal, but this is a transfer in this week, Prez. Solanke.
João Pedro.
Yes, I know. Very controversial because they've got Arsenal, the worst fixture possible. But I was in a bad predicament. I've taken quite a lot of losses, as you can tell in my team. Bruno's gone down, Nkunku's gone down. But then
you didn't think of Nkunku to Rodgers or something?
No, because I'll tell you why. I still had this sly hope that Nkunku, because of all of what we just spoke about, could still become an option. Even this week, I didn't think 100%.
He just played 90 minutes in Europe.
I know
you're not happy with.
Now it's not good. It's not. Yeah. Hence why he's on the bench press. So it's not looking good. This almost confirms to me. I mean, he did start. Is it Nkunku, Modric, and Madueke?
Yeah.
So they're 3 players that potentially 2 of them will start on the weekend, right?
I mean, Palmer's going to start.
Palmer's 100%. Yeah.
Neto's going to start, and Madueke is going to start.
Yeah,
I mean, you think
Neto starts on the left. If Neto starts on the left, then that's what you're saying, and Madueke on the right.
But no, look, it's fine. And
I'll tell you why I've done it as well, Prez. There's context to it. So
go on, give me context.
I'll tell you why. It's just so you know. So I'm already part of the preparation to move in Nkunku 1. I want more money in the pot. Now I've done this move in international break. I've got 2.5 million in the bank, and I'm looking at players now, whether a Bruno and I've got the potential now to be able to move someone up to a premium, Saka, Palmer, if I want. So that's a decision that I wanted to be able to make, if that makes sense. So I've done it then. I was still hoping, as I said, when I've done the move, that Nkunku could be a possibility. But now I know he's just going to be a bench player and the rest of my bench. So I'm going to have to start Pedro. But it's not the end of the world. You saw against Aston Villa, they created 2 chances. And Brighton started really well. So he's on pen, so you could always jam a attack in return. So, yeah, I didn't finish off the attack. So João Pedro, Haaland, and Isaac. Isaac and Gordon, a lot of people were talking about them this week, Prez, because Newcastle haven't started the season well, which I agree. I think I've watched both of their games, and they're even last night, is it the Carabao Cup?
Forest game. I watched it very carefully.
Yeah, and they didn't play that well, did they? I mean, luckily for our assets, they both scored their penalties, so that's good for their confidence, and they got through just about. But yeah, exactly. If you're looking at any positives or trying to put a narrative for my team, but yeah, Pedro's coming. I know. Even when I done the move, I was thinking this is a controversial move. I could have done it the other way around, but I wanted to do it this way. I wanted to free up the money because Solanke is 7.5, and it was going to be another drop. Where Nkunku wasn't, I don't think he's going to drop again yet.
He's dropping tonight, dude.
Oh, see, there you go. I wasn't checking carefully. When I checked it yesterday, I saw the immediate one. I saw Solanke and stuff. So I couldn't escape it anyway, Press. One of them was, I was going to lose money anyway. So
yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, with what you've been dealt as a bad hand, like with Konsa, with Solanke, with
even Hall losing his place and
Hall. Look, I understand. You're trying to make the best out of the situation, and it's fine. All I would say is, if you plan, there's 2 routes you can go. Next week, you could go Bruno up to even Salah.
Yeah.
So to do that, you'll have to take a hit for Nkunku anyway. You'll have to bring Nkunku down.
Yeah.
To a Rodgers and then Bruno to Salah. Can you do that? Is that affordable?
Bruno to Salah, and who else did he say?
To Rodgers will give you 2.5.
Yeah, that would be able to be done. Yeah.
So you're gonna have to take a hit if you want to get Salah next week anyway.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I know.
you could think through and say, if I'm gonna take a hit anyway, then I might as well do the Nkunku hit now. That's one school of thought. I'm not trying to encourage you to a hit, by the way.
No,
You will
yeah,
see through the season, I hate hits, so I will never
same,
encourage you to take
same
hits.
as me, Praz. I'm not really a hit. Yeah,
But I'm just trying to understand your path. So if your path is to get Salah next week for Bruno, then you will need a hit. You can't do it for free. So you might as well take the hit this week and have the funds available. Number one. Number two, if your path is to get Saka or Palmer,
yeah.
then this is the week to do that, because Saka has the good fixture home to Brighton. Palmer has the great fixture home to Crystal Palace. From next week, actually both Saka and Palmer are great, but okay great. Like Saka has away to Spurs and home to Man City as his next two.
Palmer's fixtures are nicer.
Palmer's are still okay, right? Away
Yeah,
to Bournemouth and away to West Ham are
yeah,
okay. Like, you really
yeah,
want them this week if you want them.
yeah. But then it's that against the -4 and
Yeah,
also the international break where so much can happen. A lot of these players we're talking about are going to play in internationals.
fair enough.
Knowing my like that, so I've got that in the back of my mind, and it all comes down to at times the momentum and the confidence. I reckon if I didn't have so much fires to fight, I would be more aggressive. I'm
Yeah, yeah.
almost paranoid. I make that move, and one of them gets. You shouldn't think like that because I know it doesn't work like that. But I make that move, and then one of them all of a sudden something happens in international. So this is the predicament I'm in. I'm like you. I don't want to do a hit. Really, I should do a hit and just fix it now and grit my teeth.
No, you
Especially,
should make a decision now. Whether, if
yeah,
you want to get Salah next week, then I would do Nkunku to Rogers and play Rogers instead of João Pedro. If
yeah.
you want to get Palmer or Saka next week, get Palmer or Saka this week. So I'm just trying to help you think through the path.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, that makes perfect sense. And that's why it's good to discuss this with you because even I wasn't sure. I was thinking, you know what, I might just take the hit, even though it's a grim fixture, Pedro versus Arsenal. Arsenal, the best defense by a distance in the Premier League. But he takes pens and Brighton have started well. I was actually hoping that in Cuckoo there would be, for some reason, I've got it into my head. I think a lot of us did, hence why we started with him. He was one of the marquee players. He would 100% be in this Chelsea team. Clearly he is, but he's in the European team and not the Prem team at the moment. And last week's result didn't help the situation because they destroyed Wolves without him. So, yeah. So that's my starting 11. Captaincy's on Haaland. I don't really have much choice. Unlike you, if I had Salah or Palmer or Saka, I could have a decision to think about. But for me, there isn't one. It's a pretty straightforward captaincy this game week for
I mean,
me.
I like your backline.
Yes,
Your defenders.
I wonder why you like the backline.
I have the same three defenders. No, I think, look, in fact, it's a good time to go to Rob T's graphic,
Yeah,
which is basically looking at the clean sheet odds and the goal scoring odds. So I think the first thing is that the goal scoring odds are not great. Like, Man City and Arsenal are the two highest goal scoring
yeah,
odds at 42%, which is quite low. Like, under 40% is low, right? As odds. So
yeah.
Arsenal obviously the likeliest as usual, no surprises there. But after that, like, you're looking at Villa as the third highest clean sheet odds, Chelsea, who've been quite poor, Brentford. So I think if you have an attacking defender this week, no matter who they play, it's fine to play them.
I agree with you. But sometimes you look at the odds, and of course, I mean, I look at the Newcastle Spurs one. I think there's going to be more goals. If we look at the historical, I know obviously that doesn't judge what's going to come up, but this fixture does provide goals, Perez. Last 5 games, there's been 25 goals. Like, ridiculous amount of goals in this game. And the way it's set up this game with Newcastle not playing so well, and it's the game at home versus Spurs who defend very aggressively, there
Yeah.
could be something in this. So from my perspective, Gordon and Isaac are a good hold this game week. I know a lot of people were thinking to swap for Watkins.
Well, I'll talk you through it. I mean, last night when I was watching Newcastle, they looked tired again, and I was like, "What the
Yeah,
hell? Like, why are you tired? Like, you've
yeah,
had a full preseason. Most of these players, like Isak, Gordon Nev didn't play, I think, more than 10 minutes for England. Isak's had a full summer off. Like Murphy, Barnes, they've had a full summer off. Like Gamarish, I think he did play Copa America. But what I'm saying, like, generally speaking, this team is rested. But they looked so leggy against Forest that I was like, what the hell is happening here? And then Gordon comes on. He starts to play on the right, where he cannot cross the ball. I don't know if you watched the game. He takes this
yeah,
cross, which goes to the corner flag. And I'm like, well, I don't want a player who's playing right, who's a right footer. Like, in
yeah,
modern football, you want your right footer to play on the left so he can cut in and shoot. That's what
yeah.
Gordon loves to do. So then they swapped them around. Barnes played on the right. He looked all right. Gordon played on the left, looked better.
Better, yeah, better.
And And then I went back and looked at Isak a little bit more carefully, and then I thought, it's not too bad. He got the assist, the FPL assist for Willock's goal as well. So I was thinking, I think I'm
It
being a little bit reactionary.
it might not be physical tiredness. It could be just mental, knowing they're starting the season. And Newcastle haven't had the best summer window. So I think that maybe it's dawned on them. They know what's ahead of them to repeat what they've done in maybe the last season. Because they lost two players. They haven't really replenished. Like, yeah, I know they're trying to buy Gahey and a couple of other players, but they are really light. When you look at that attacking team, Barnes, Murphy, Isaac, and Gordon, for example. When you look at it to the other competition, who they're competing with, practically. So maybe it's mental fatigue that's hit them. They're
Or
thinking, what?
rustiness, yeah.
Yeah, because they're looking at it, they're looking ahead, thinking this is going to be a very difficult season. Some of the key players. I mean, yeah, but I'm not. I think this fixture there's going to be goals there. That's the what my mind. I think Arsenal's won. I know they've got 2.5 odds, 2.5 goals. Brighton have started the season really well.
Yeah, yeah.
That won't
No,
be
I
so
hear you.
easy.
I hear you. I hear you. In fact, just finishing the Newcastle discussion, if you go to the next slide from Rob T, comparing the players,
Yeah.
this is what made me most comfortable. That
Hmm.
Isak is actually the second most highest projected goals.
Yeah.
Like people are looking to do Isak to Watkins because Watkins has an amazing fixture away to Leicester. Well, Isak has higher goal scoring odds compared to Watkins. So it feels sideways, even though it's a nice window to do it. Like if I was wildcarding, I would definitely have
You
Watkins
do
over
it.
Isak
Yeah.
because you're looking at a longer term horizon.
Yeah.
But if you're not on a wildcard and you're looking short term and you're short of transfers or you feel like saving that transfer for international break, I think it's okay. I've come round to it. I think it's okay to keep Isak. The numbers are strong. The fixture is, even the markets are predicting 4 goals, like a 2-all. I think last slide. So 2-all or a
I, I'm
3-1. I like it.
I'm hot on that fixture. You just have to watch Spurs, and it's not being disrespectful to Spurs. It's almost very similar to like how Klopp used to defend, very aggressive. Everyone's in your heart. The spaces that they leave. I know Van der Ven is a running machine, but they're going to leave him with Isaac, who is a horrible player to play 1v1. So that's the reason I can see why he's so high up. If he has been getting the shots off, Isaac, with all in all what we're saying with Newcastle, I think even against Bournemouth, then he have 5 shots or 4 shots. I know 3 of them are blocked, but he has got the shots off, so he is receiving the ball and he's causing a threat. It's just the team at the moment, it's not fully functioning, but this could be the fixture where it kicks off. Goal, especially for us FPL wise, they might not win the game. They could lose 3-2, but return wise with Isaac and Gordon, definitely good potential.
Yep, agreed. And then coming to Palmer, like I think Palmer is a good pick this week, especially people wildcarding. If you had Palmer, would you captain him or Haaland?
Let me go back to the slide here. I want to try to be honest to the answer because it's easy to say it when you don't actually own him, but I think I would go Palmer,
But look at these
Yeah.
numbers, man. 0.96
It's
probability of goal
what's that for
for Haaland compared to
yeah,
Palmer.
no, going against Haaland, look, Praz. That's what I'm saying. When
Chelsea
you
have
ask
just
that
lost
question,
to some rando team in
yeah.
Conference League.
But I did say even last week, Chelsea, when we're focusing on Palmer, we're focusing on their attack. Their defense at the moment, they're shaky. No one's disputing that. They're going to concede goals. Even against the Palace, they'll concede a goal. But the attack, you saw it against I know it overperformed against Wolves. 100%. We know that. I even saw the XG, which threw me off. I said, how's that possible? But they do have a lovely attack. And if it just gets into the groove, Palmer's the sort of person, he does affect games. Like he doesn't really, sometimes I watch soccer and he's very, very quiet and he just delivers something and he gets these 6 points. Where Palmer is more involved. I do see him. Yeah, I wouldn't be scared to captain him. You're thinking no chance, Prez. That's too risky. Yeah?
No, I'm not saying no chance, but I'm just saying it comes with risks. Like I just feel capturing Salah more. Like I'm more comfortable captaining Salah if it's not Haaland. Maybe it's just legacy bias, right? Of years and years of captaining Salah. Like Palmer, I'm still a little bit skeptical because Chelsea is still Chelsea. Like you can have a game in which they lose 1-all. Like Palace, like remember last season, Palace is not a bad team.
No. They've had
Of
a
course,
difficult start though, Prez. They've had a difficult
exactly.
start as well.
It's one of the things when you're looking at a new team, like a new manager team, you don't know how to read them. Like this Wolves game, was it a one-off because Wolves were so rubbish, or was it because Chelsea have clicked? If Chelsea have clicked, why didn't I see it today? Like losing 3-2 or 2-1 today was quite poor. Of course, Palmer was not playing, but system, like if you're a system manager, then the players are getting in. it could be anything. I think I would still be skeptical. I think it's higher risk, higher return if you go Palmer versus Haaland.
That's exactly what it is. I think it's well, just to go back to that point, it's a combination of both. It's a new manager and a new team, new system, but then you're relying on a player who's not a new player. Palmer's been there, done it last season. He showed his quality. In fact, even if the little cameo appearances he done for England, he impacted the game instantly. He's got that about him. He has got. I didn't really expect it. Obviously, I didn't know much about him when he was just sitting on the bench rotting at Manchester City, but he has really impressed me. I know last season the numbers were skewed by the amount of penalties, but even without the penalties, the chance creation, the involvement, the shots, I think he's going to reach that bracket. If you're not comfortable now, Praz, he will be, I reckon, very soon in that bracket where people were more willing to captain him than Saka. Maybe not Salah and Haaland, because like what you said, Haaland obviously it's a different question. The guy you saw it done last week, so yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. I mean, those are some of the dilemmas people are looking at. We're not going to go through every single one of them. As I've said in the previous videos, this is more about our teams and what we're thinking through leading into the end of the deadline. So what else, Mo, in your team? Like, what's the path? Like you talked about getting a Salah or...
Can I be honest with you? As it's been a difficult start, my thinking was just to almost crawl over the line to international break and assist. But just speaking with you has made me reassess that strategy, because like you said, if I am going to do those moves anyway, why don't I attack it now with a superior fixture? But I am conscious that maybe it's because the couple of bad issues I've had before is impacting my thinking. I was thinking to make this move, grit my teeth, Praz, and then just assess in the international break. I've got money in the pot now, so I should be able to reach whoever I want during that period. Yeah. Of course, I have to take hits if I need to do more than one transfer. Unlike you, I've not had a chance to roll. But that's my thinking. I think I've made peace that I could go ahead. Don't get me wrong. After speaking with you, I might make that change to -4 and go for it. But I have made peace with myself to go through this game week, and it doesn't look good for me, if I'm totally honest with you, because Pedro's against Arsenal, Bruno's against Liverpool. It's not an ideal.
I mean, there's only two differences in our teams. In fact, it's a good segue to my team. I've just got Salah instead of Bruno, and I've got Rodgers instead of João Pedro. Like otherwise, we have 9 same players. So like it looks very bad because those are Liverpool home and away.
That's Arsenal what it is. Yeah.
Whereas mine are Leicester away and Man United away. But I don't think it's as bad as it looks. But look, I think one counter. I feel like I've taken you towards some direction where you're going to take a hit.
No, it's good. It's good.
I want to also give you the other side of it. The other side of it is that you can get through this week, and if there's another injury, you can just wildcard next week. You can just say, look, that's enough.
Yesterday, Prez, when Isak got tackled, I'll tell you what, when I thought he was out injured, I would have activated it. That was it. Yeah, that was it. That was too much. Even I couldn't. I was like, you know what? It's meant to be. I've got to make the move. Honestly, I was that close. So I am fragile from that perspective. My team, I am limping. So yeah, at the moment, I think I'm going to stick with what I've shown you, Prez. So let's run through your team now.
Okay, so same back four. So I've got Henderson in goal. Chelsea, I'm not expecting much. Trent, Konza, Robinson, all have away games, but all have decent upside. When I say upside, Konza doesn't have much upside, but I love Konza. Like he's always done well for me. And in terms of clean sheet odds, we saw that Villa are 3rd highest for clean sheet odds. So I think I'm okay playing Konza. Robinson and Trent have the attacking upside. So midfield, I've got Gordon, Salah, Jota, Smith Rowe and Rodgers. So again, fairly lucky that a lot of people for Nkunku, a lot of traffic has gone to Smith Rowe and Rodgers. So I have those guys. I enjoyed like the price rise, and so that was good. And then Haaland and Isak up top, and bench is João Pedro, Luis Hall, and Barco. So saving free transfer.
It's a good position to be in that you can roll. So do you have 3 transfers?
I have 2 now.
Yeah, but you're going to roll this one.
If I roll, then international break, I'll have 3 free transfers. But look, anything can happen tomorrow. Like the idea of this is what happens in press conferences. Like, if there's one injury in this team, I'll be making 2 transfers this week. Like, let me give you an example.
Okay.
Like if Gordon is out for whatever reason, then I take Gordon down to Eze or Mbumo, and I take Isak up to Watkins. Like I'll just do a double move. Why should I just do one?
Yeah.
Or if Gordon is out, I will take him down. Or if Jota is out, let's say for whatever reason, I take him down to a who's your guy from Aston Villa, Bailey, and I upgrade Henderson to a Raya, like something like that. I can think of a lot of double moves. The problem why I can't make a single move is I have 0.0 in the bank, and my team is fine. Like I can't take Isak to anyone. I can't take Isak to Watkins
Okay,
because
I
of
see your
0.0.
point. Okay, that's where the double move comes into it.
Exactly. I can't take
Yeah.
Gordon up to anybody. Like, who will I get? Bruno or Odegaard? Not really. So I'll have to come down. And if I bring them down, I might as well make two moves. So this is
So
where
why
I'm.
are you not tempted to be aggressive as well? So you put it on me with those questions. I can put it on you as well. Why you've got two free transfers? Why could and you see this week Liverpool versus inferior, difficult fixture, Manchester United. Being respectful to you here, Pras, but you could make moves as well. You could swap, something to try and get Palmer or something in, couldn't you? If you think that's the
So,
more aggressive move, the maximum points, and to keep going with your excellent start.
well, I mean, you can be patient and still continue to keep going with an excellent start. Like, the ability to do or the willingness to do doesn't mean you do better. But what I'm saying is, yes, I did think about Isak and Gordon to a 5.5 striker like Armstrong and
Yeah.
Palmer. I could do that for free.
Mm.
So, but I'd be losing Isak and Gordon, where they're projected to score the same number of goals as Chelsea. So, who would be that 5.5? I'd have to play João Pedro instead. I could do Isak and Gordon to Eze and Watkins, or Bumo to and Watkins. Like, those are all viable moves, but they feel sideways. They don't look like I'm aggressively chasing something, because I plan to have these Newcastle guys. Like, these
Yeah.
Newcastle guys at home to Spurs are not a problem. Like, if they were a problem, I'm actually semi hoping that Eddie Howe tomorrow, or somebody, some manager says there's some
Don't
spanner,
don't say that,
because
Pras.
I
Don't.
mean, I have to tell you, like, for my personal team, I'm thinking, if there is something I can do, I'm willing to do it. I'm not stubborn at all. But what I don't also want to do is just make two moves, lose my advantage of having two transfers ahead of other people, and also lose points, because actually Isak and Gordon do really well.
That's exactly what I was trying to get at. Are you in a position where you're saving just because you want to save and you've got the luxury of having a mini wildcard international break and you're missing the opportunity to attack this game week? But clearly, no, you've assessed that and you've not seen like you said, they're a bit sideways instead of being, yeah,
Exactly. And when people will go into the international break, suddenly they will all clock on to Liverpool's fixtures. I'm not saying people haven't done that already,
yeah,
but suddenly they'll clock on to Liverpool's fixtures and say, hey, these guys have terrific fixtures. I want to get Salah in. I want to get Jota in. I want to get Trent in. I have those guys. So I'm hoping, just like this week where people said, I want Rogers, just like last week when people said, I want Smith Rowe, I'm hoping that I have the players that people want to get next week. That was the idea of building a 5 week wildcard, like a planning a game week 6 wildcard. All these players have good fixtures until game week 5, and then suddenly not so much. Like, suddenly
yeah.
game week 6, my three Man City, my Newcastle guys play Man City, my Liverpool guys are away to Wolves, which is decent. Fulham is okay. So my team will then need triple Arsenal, who are home to Leicester, home to Southampton. So this is the plan. We'll see how
But
it
you're
goes.
planning, like you said, planning on wildcarding
Game
to,
week 6.
yeah, exactly, to rectify what you said. Yeah, so that makes sense. Even if my team continues in this vein, I'm going to do it as well. I'd love to wait to around game week 6 as well, but to get the Arsenal players. But it all depends, obviously, circumstances. I need a bit of luck now. What I mean by that, Praz, is hopefully no more injuries and my players
Yeah, look,
actually can get,
I hope so. Look,
you know.
it's reached a point where I actually feel bad. Like, I mean, I do have Barco, to be clear,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it's reached a point where, with Nkunku, Solanke, those are all close to my draft as well. I've shown drafts with Nkunku in it, with Solanke in it. Kwanzaa I never had. I never wanted Kwanzaa,
You never
because
considered him.
he was blocking for me a Liverpool slot. That was the reason.
Yeah,
Not because I didn't
yeah.
believe in Kwanzaa, because I was like, if you want your Liverpool for the next 5 weeks, I don't want Kwanzaa. I mean, imagine if you had Kwanzaa and he was playing, you would still be tempted to say, I want Robertson instead. I want Jota instead.
Funny enough, I'm actually considering that money in the pot now. I can go to Robertson as well. So
Yeah.
these are moves. So you're in a good position. You never disputed a captaincy this game week, Praz,
I mean,
with
I don't have
Salah.
Palmer. I think the top three captains this week are Haaland, Palmer, and maybe even Saka.
Yeah,
I mean, Saka and Salah I think are close, but Saka is home to Brighton, right? So I would say Saka is third. So I don't have the second and third best. So for me, it was Haaland. People who have Saka and Haaland, maybe it's a choice. But when I look at that Rob T graphic, I'm like, I'm getting one goal as a starting point. Saka is like half of expected goals. Now I know
yeah.
Saka has other routes to points. I'm happy with Haaland. I don't think you need to go against an informed guy who's had a midweek rest.
And did you consider Rogers versus Pedro?
No.
Because I know you're going strictly fixture. Because
Strictly
Rogers has looked powerful and aggressive and dominates that midfield and does drive into the attacking, but maybe not as many shots off compared to someone like a Pedro.
Fair, but they
A lot
played
of penalty
Arsenal, right?
take. Yeah,
Yeah, I get it. I get
yeah,
it. But it's just a fixture. This was the plan. Like Pedro was not going to play Arsenal. Rogers
yeah,
was going to play. Last game week, Rogers didn't play because he was playing Arsenal, and Pedro did play Man
yeah.
United, and he got the point. So I'm a fixtures person. Every time you'll speak to me, I'll be talking fixtures. Can people do good in bad fixtures? Yes. But the odds of doing well are better in an easier fixture. Smith Rowe
100%. Yeah.
happened to score home to Leicester. Yes, it was lucky, but also it was home to Leicester.
Yeah, no, fair play. Now you're in a. I'm trying to look at your team to think, oh, where can I pick it a bit more, pick it apart, or that there is. You're in a good place.
Keeper,
You don't
man.
need to.
Keeper is absolute dog shit. But
So you could
what can
no,
we
you
do?
got 0.0. Would you, if you had the money, would you consider Raya?
I would take him to Raya. Yeah, if I had. So
You would
that's
if
why
you
I
had the
said.
money. Yeah,
I mean, because I'm in a luxurious position. It's a luxury transfer
that
because
is of
for
course. Yeah,
Raya away to Spurs and home to Man City, again, he could keep clean sheets in both, but it would be unlucky. Like for them, already the
yeah,
first two games, their clean sheets have been slightly lucky. Like, okay, if you own them, well done, great. But it's been a little bit lucky that they've kept clean sheets in both games. Like Watkins should
100%.
definitely have
Yeah,
scored at
especially
least
the
one.
second game. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we all agree there, Prez. Yeah.
So I'll see if I get away with it. But I do love Arsenal. I have to keep emphasizing on every video. They will be in my team. 3 of them will be in my team by game week 6.
Have you got an idea of what three you're considering?
It'll come down to other options. Like, if Solanke is fit and firing, then I prefer Solanke instead of Havertz and then having double defense. If Solanke is not looking great, then Havertz looks amazing because those two fixtures home to the two promoted sides looks great. If there's some rotation where Jesus is playing with Havertz, then I don't like it. So knowing me, I probably go double defense. But then if I'm thinking of, if I'm win wildcard 6 with 4 free transfers, then
Yeah,
I can also be a little bit more aggressive and say I'm going to start with Havertz, then I'll move him to Solanke and things like that. It's a bridge too far because, like I said, I don't think we know much right now.
yeah. So you're teasing me there because I've just got rid of Solanke. Trust the luck. The Everton fixture, the money fixture, Praz, but you know how it goes. This is
That
how
was
FPL
the
works
minimum
anyway.
10 pointer. So everyone
Honestly.
who owns Solanke, you're very unlucky. But look, it's only 2 weeks. The luck
Exactly
will
that,
turn.
yeah. Yeah, I'm trying exactly that. I'm trying to stay positive in my FPL decisions. Otherwise, it starts becoming very dark very quick.
There's like 150 coin tosses in this game. You've just
Yeah.
had like 3. So it's okay if you call them all 3 wrong. There's another
Yeah.
147 to go.
I like that. I like that, Prez. So I think that's the majority of our dilemmas for this week here, Prez. I think we're
Yeah.
I think we're in a good place. I don't think I'm going to make changes. I think I'm going to stick with it. So you never know if Pedro gets a cheap goal. Think about me, yeah.
I mean, he'll wipe out Arsenal's clean sheet, so I'm rooting for Pedro, and he'll get like a double price rise over international break. So trust me, I'll be jumping for joy if Pedro scores. Sorry, Arsenal fans.
And before we go, Prez, one last thing. Predictions, because obviously you're a United fan. I'm a Liverpool fan. What are you thinking this Sunday?
I'm not optimistic.
You're not confident?
If so, Mason Mount is out. So
Yeah, I just
I
heard
think
that. Poor guy, yeah.
with the false 9, Bruno false 9, I think the pressing system was working really well.
Yeah.
Not that was going to be a long-term thing, but I was definitely sure that we would play that against you guys because that's what Ten Hag prefers against Man City. So I was thinking at least this is going to be a low-scoring, he'll manage the game. He may still do that. We may still have Bruno false 9, but now there's no McTominay. So you're looking at Casemiro, Menu, and I don't know who plays there. He might have to play Rashford up top and then Bruno as the midfielder.
I'm thinking he's going to have to do that as well.
You'll
Yeah,
have
Bruno
Ahmad
surely has to
and
come in, yeah.
Garnacho, but then you lose possession a lot. If you have Bruno and Rashford up top, you lose a lot more possession than if you play Bruno false 9 and Mason Mount who can hold the ball up a little bit better. So I'm not that optimistic. I think you guys beat us.
I was slightly hoping. I was quite upset Mount was injured because I wanted you to place that false 9. I agree with you. It makes you maybe a bit more solid, a bit more difficult to break down. But I thought he was a bit toothless. Not enough goal scorers in that team. So just putting one more, whether it's a Garnacho or Rashford in, makes you more dangerous, which is more of a threat to me. That makes me a little bit more. I preferred it when he was doing the other system because I did think we will get chances against you, and you're pretty toothless. But now you're going to add one more goal scorer on the pitch, so I think it evens it up a little bit more, and it's at your ground as well, Prez.
Yeah, no, I'm not like completely lost hope, but it's my honest prediction. Like I think Liverpool win 2-1.
Cool. I'm going to go for 2-1 as well, Liverpool. All right,
Excellent.
guys. Listen, on that note, thank you very much, Pras. Lovely show.
Yep,
Helps me quite a lot of my team.
Now, this is the idea, and hopefully it helped others who are in similar dilemmas.
Yeah.
And that's the idea of the show. I wish everybody a very good game week 3, and we'll be back sometime in the international break.
Of course. And please, before you jump off, make sure you like the video. See, we keep forgetting, Pras, to do it midway through the... we have to remind ourselves. So yeah, please like and leave any comments on the video.
Show more some love. Like the video. Come on.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Take care.
See ya. Bye-bye.